Hello guys, you want to see how I made this beautiful indoor-outdoor bar? Keep on watching. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Jules and you are watching DIY with Jules. My husband brought home this cubby organizer from work. They were throwing it out and he knows that I like to refurbish and he figured I could give it some love. So I am going to be attempting to make a bar out of this. And the first thing we're going to do is remove the backing and give it a good cleaning. Guys, if you're new to my channel, welcome. Don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can be notified whenever I upload a video. I'm going to be measuring one of the squares and get the inside measurements so that I can cut two pieces of wood to make an X so that I can make a wine bottle holder. And also I am going to be using trim to make some wine glass holders. I went over to Home Depot and picked up two shelvings. One was 12 by 49, the other one 18.49 for the top and the bottom. Then I went on to painting my project. It was already white, but I picked up this primer a couple of months ago, had some left over. And in some of the areas after I took the back off, you can still see the MDF in the back. So I decided to paint the whole thing. And I put another piece of wood on the bottom so that I can have some storage, and I painted that also. For my wine bottle holders, I took the measurements, then I took 1 inch away so that it would fit exactly inside of the square. Then I took my two pieces of wood, I found my center mark, and I took the second piece of wood, I placed it in the center of the first wood, and I traced the width of the second one. I shaded it in, and that's exactly what I was going to be cutting on both of them. Guys, always remember, measure twice, cut once. Once I was done cutting, I sanded everything down and I gave it a good paint. I used Gorilla construction glue to glue both my top and my bottom. I added some screws to the bottom and also put in my feet, and then I went on and put the piece of wood to the front. I glued it and caulked it, and then I added some trim. And once I was done putting in the leg fasteners, we put it on its side and finished putting the legs in. To make my wine glass holders, I took the trim and I cut them into 6-inch pieces. Then I took some extra wood, I cut a couple of strips of it, and then I glued it on to the thicker side of the trim. This way, when I glued it onto the bottom of my cubby hole, it had enough space in order for my cups to slide through. As you can see, I used Gorilla wood glue. And now that they're all dry, I am going to flip the table over, and we're going to use 2 wine glasses to determine exactly where we're going to put them. We used construction glue to put it in, and that gave it a really good hold so that the weight of the glasses won't pull it out. And now that my accessories are done, it's time to decorate and put in our resin. Going through a couple of ideas of what I wanted for the bottom of the bar, I decided to use this runner that I had left over. I will be using it as a stencil, and I will be painting the bottom with this ornate design. My original thought was to do just the silver, but I did not like it with the silver by itself, so I moved it over just slightly after painting the silver and added gold. I also decided to purchase a piece of plexiglass and screw it onto the front area where the 6 cubbies are going to be open, just to give it a pretty glass look. Now I added my tabletop by adding the glue and putting the shelving unit on the top of it. I added just a few nails so that you wouldn't see so many screws on the top when I added my resin. I glued the trim on, let it dry, and then I gave it a good sanding just to make sure that none of that glue was present when I went to put my resin on. And I used a blower after I cleaned it to blow all of the sanding debris outside. I let everything settle and then I gave it a good painting. Yet comfortable with using resin to make marble design on the table, so I decided to draw mine on, and what I used was this piece of tinsel. I painted spray on the actual tinsel and I ran it across the table just to make the veins on the table. I just did my own design and I just went with it. The gold, silver, and a little bit of bronze, and then I used my brush and I kind of went over with a couple of sprays on different areas just to give it a little tint of the 2 colors. And in some of the areas where I thought the lines were a little too thick, I took a sponge brush and I tapped it down. Marble is a perfect imperfection. No 2 pieces are alike, and I'm making my own version of it. By the way, for each color I had a different piece of tinsel. That's my bronze. I didn't have a spray bronze, so I took a regular paint and I mixed it with some mixing medium to thin it out. And as you can see, I made a little mistake there, so I just painted it white and continued. So I chipped the corner on my bar top and I had put some putty on there, but I painted it and the paint just wasn't sticking. I don't know why. It may be the type of putty I was using. So what I decided to do is get some gold leaf paper, and I was going to make nuggets on all 4 of the corners, but then I decided to put it around the whole thing. Once I put the gold leafing around, it actually made it look like it was stone. It's not perfect. It has its little grooves, and that's what stone looks like. And I did it all the way around. When I was getting to the other side, I was putting on the gold leafing in the corner, and one of the pieces flew up in the air because it's very, very light, and it actually hit the top of the table. It just strategically fell right there. And so now I decided to take smaller pieces, because there is no mistake in art, and I took smaller pieces and I just put it in random places on the table just to make it look like it has gold nuggets stuck to it. Isn't that cool? Make sure you read your resin instructions. This one calls for equal amounts. Then you're going to mix both of them together in one bowl or in one pot, cup, whatever that is. And you're going to mix it for 6 minutes. Then you're going to take it out of that one, put it into another one, and mix it for another 6 minutes. You can see here, I took a little bit of the resin and poured it in 2 different little cups, because I wanted to do some more designs with the gold and the silver, but it didn't quite work out for me, so I nixed that idea. I poured my first batch of resin over the top. I laid it out I smoothed it out as much as I could, and then I placed the other one on top and left it alone. And I hit it with my heat gun to try to remove the bubbles. I came back every few minutes. And on the second batch, what I did was I added gold glitter, and I poured it over the top. And as my resin ran down the side, I used a sponge brush and I kept cleaning it off. Every 10 to 15 minutes I would come out and I would run the brush underneath it, because I didn't want any of those beads that usually come out on resin projects. I waited 24 hours and then I took all of the wrapping off and I added my final trim, which I had painted gold. Here is a final look at what the tabletop or the bar top looks like. And guys, if you're new to my channel, again, welcome. If you have not yet subscribed, please consider doing so. Don't forget to like and hit the notification bell and share with your friends and family. I want to say, be blessed, wear your mask and your gloves whenever needed. Have a wonderful and blessed day. So I finally got my lights on, and I bought this pretty designer little lamp on Amazon.